Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Media Pulse, the show where we help you make sense of Thai politics.
This week we have to start with the continuing bad news for former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, who continues to make headlines even though he's behind bars.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, these headlines are not very positive for him.
No, it is a very challenging time for him indeed. The first case has to do with the 17.6 billion baht in capital gains tax issued by the Revenue Department in relation to the transfer of Chin Corp shares in 2006. So in Thailand, there's actually a law that prohibits political office holders from holding shares in private companies. And Thaksin transferred his shares to his two daughters, Patongtan and Pintongta then, but capital gains tax from that transfer were deemed taxable by the Revenue Department.
Of course, Thaksin did not take things sitting down.
No.
He went ahead to sue the Revenue Department and members of the appeals board, demanding the withdrawal of the tax assessment, which he claimed was unlawful. The Central Tax Court then ruled in his favor, a decision which was upheld by the Court of Appeals. The Revenue Department, however, appealed to the Supreme Court in the case. And this week, the Supreme Court concluded that Thaksin intended to conceal his controlling stake in the Chin Corp. It overturned the appeals court's decision and ordered Thaksin to pay 17.6 billion baht to the Revenue Department.
But there is another case in August last year, I hope you remember. Thaksin was acquitted of a lèse-majesté charge for what he said during the 2015 interview with the South Korean media. The criminal court ruled that the remark in question did not carry any content which might have defamed the monarchy, but he was only referring to some military officers. So those were just negative comments, not about the king.
But this week, the Attorney General decided to appeal against the criminal court's ruling, a move which political observers believe will affect Thaksin's attempt to seek a parole. Thaksin is now in jail, right? Serving a one-year jail term, but he is known to be attempting to seek a parole for an early release from jail.
There are reactions from his family members. So we had Pintongta and Pantongtat, Thaksin's son and daughter, who visited him this week. They told reporters after visiting their father in front of the prison that Thaksin felt hurt. But since the family hasn't received justice, they will continue to fight. She also said that she worries about her father's feelings, while Pantongtat, the son, said it worries them, meaning the family as well.
But unfortunately, that is not the end of the story for Thaksin yet. On top of these two cases you just mentioned, Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has confirmed with the media that he decided to follow the former Justice Minister's recommendation that Thaksin's petition for a royal pardon be rejected. So meaning that the Prime Minister is against Thaksin's petition for a pardon, as recommended by the previous Justice Minister.
Yeah, so as we already know, Thaksin is now serving a jail term for 1 year for corruption charges, and he will qualify for parole when he has served at least 1/3, that's the rule, or 6 months of his sentence. Now, Thaksin went to jail in September, so 6 months will land just a few weeks before the general elections, the expected general election.
But is the whole thing a political revenge? The Prime Minister Anutin said no. So the question then is why both the Prime Minister and the Justice Ministry have decided to recommend a rejection of a parole petition by Thaksin. Sources in the Corrections Department told Thai PBS World that the decision is based on the Supreme Court's ruling, which says that Thaksin has to return to jail to serve a full 1 year jail term.
So how do we read into this? Opinions of political observers in Thailand are divided. On one hand, the latest developments can weaken Thaksin's ability to exert influence on the next general elections. But on the other hand, Thaksin's current situation could also attract sympathy from the general public. good or bad.
Yeah.
The impact will be on the Pheu Thai party, for sure. I mean, Surya Jingrungit, the Pheu Thai party's campaign director,
Yeah.
said that they are aiming for 200 seats in the next general elections. But many are thinking that a more realistic number
Yeah.
would be about like 70.
200 seats to be won in the next elections is simply a wishful thinking. That is the view of the critics of the Pheu Thai party. And they believe that the Pheu Thai party has been on a steady decline over the past several months, and it's very unlikely that there will be a drastic turnaround when the next elections come. As you just said, Kun Clare, political observers find it hard not to see the setbacks being suffered by Thaksin through the political lens, right? After all, we are talking about Thaksin,
Yeah.
who is considered to be one of Thailand's most divisive figures, and whose influence, though diminished, is not going to go away easily. Right?
No. But some legal experts Thai PBS has talked to have a different opinion. They caution against the rush to politicize the two legal cases. Now, the fact that the two cases emerged on the same day could be just a coincidence. They argue that appeals by public prosecutors against verdicts in less magistrate cases are nothing unusual, pointing out that most of the not guilty rulings in these cases in the past were pursued by the Court of Appeals in any way.
They also have comments on Thaksin's back taxes case. They recall that many other similar cases have also been overturned by the Supreme Court. So what happened to Thaksin is no exception. And they also point out that Anutin's rescinding of the petition for Thaksin to be pardoned is merely a reaffirmation of the decision made by the previous Justice Minister, Thaksin. It was Tawi who first initiated the petition before deciding to have it withdrawn. Anutin, according to the legal experts, has just upheld the withdrawal proposed by Thaksin.
Yeah, makes sense. But what legal experts see as a much bigger threat to Thaksin's future is the fallout from the so-called 14th floor scandal. And again, we need to talk about floor 14, the saga that has refused to go away easily. Back in September this year, the Supreme Court ordered Thaksin to go back to jail to serve a one-year sentence relating to an earlier corruption case. Now, the court ruled that Thaksin had evaded the jail term by spending his time in the police hospital instead of behind bars. In short, the court found Thaksin transferred to the hospital to be unlawful.
As we all know that Thaksin is now being imprisoned at Konglem Central Prison.
Yeah.
But that's not the end of the Floor 14 saga. At least 12 officials and medical personnel are being investigated for alleged misconduct by the Anti-Corruption Commission for conniving to falsify medical documents to justify Thaksin's prolonged stay at the police hospital. Of course, these people will be penalized if they are found guilty. And if that's the case, then Thaksin will also be implicated by extension.
Okay, so legal experts have raised the possibility of Thaksin being accused of being an accomplice in the whole affair by alleging conniving with the prison officials and medical personnel to falsify medical records regarding the state of his illness, and he could face charges of aiding and abetting official misconduct. So simply put, the ordeal of the former Prime Minister is far from over. He still has a long road ahead of him.
No, all right, we can say that there seems to be no escape from talking about Thaksin, right?
No.
He still continues to make headlines even from behind bars. But unfortunately, it has been all bad news about him. And bad news for Thaksin is also bad news for Pheu Thai party, which still sees him as its heart and soul.
Yeah, some political observers believe the new entanglements may complicate the possibility of Thaksin seeking a parole that would allow him to walk free in time for the next general elections. So if Prime Minister Anutin sticks to his words, the House will be dissolved by the end of January next year to pave the way for snap elections in March. Now, the Pheu Thai party is hopeful that Thaksin will be out of jail by then to help with this election campaign.
Now, Thaksin aside, Pheu Thai party knows full well that it will be facing an uphill task in the next elections. Pheu Thai, as we all know, has been dominating every election over the past 2 decades,
Yeah.
thanks to Thaksin continuing uphill. But the next election will be a totally new ball game, in which the influence of Thaksin may not be a major factor as much as it used to be.
Yeah, because we have a new big player coming up. The Thai party of Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul, the core of the current coalition, has become its most formidable competitor. Not to mention the People's Party, the biggest party in the opposition bloc as well. So it's no surprise that Pheu Thai party has been sending out all indications that it will seek a no-confidence debate against the Anutin coalition, despite the fact that the administration has been in office for barely 2 months.
And the political observers believe that finding fault with the Anutin coalition government through a no-confidence debate is probably the only way to make itself, the Pheu Thai party, politically relevant ahead of the next elections. The once politically mighty party has been on its back foot since the ouster of its leader, Thaksin Shinawatra, as Prime Minister in late August in connection with a disastrous phone call with Cambodia's former strongman Hun Sen.
Yeah, back then the party plunged into disarray with Thaksin resigning as its leader and several of its MPs and prominent members ready to abandon ship. So Pheu Thai party also has little to boast about as far as its governance track record is concerned. I mean, the 2 successive governments led by Pheu Thai party, we're talking about Seta and Thaksin administrations, both failed to live up to most of its campaign promises.
And Thaksin's bungled handling of the conflict with Cambodia, of course, was only the last nail on the coffin for Pheu Thai party. So according to political observers, Pheu Thai party under new leadership needs something to crow about in the next election. So therefore, bringing out the skeletons in the process of the Thai party through a no-confidence debate appears to be the best way to seize the spotlight. And at the same time cause as much damage to the party that is likely to be its most formidable competitor in the next election.
Yeah. So in short, in the eyes of these observers, filing a censure motion against the Thai-led coalition is not an option, but it's a necessary political expediency. One of its deputy leaders, Chainarun, declared this week actually that with or without the support of the People's Party, which is now the biggest party in the opposition bloc, the Pheu Thai party will move ahead with a censure motion.
So what has the Thai party done wrong? Kun Visut declined to be specific about the faults his party sees in the Anutin administration.
Yeah.
He only said his party has been receiving a lot of information about the government's shortcomings. He described the information as very frightening, but did not elaborate. We need to hold the government accountable before it causes the country more damage, Visut said, but again without elaborating.
So we don't really know what skeleton he's going to pull out of the closet. So officially, Pheu Thai party now has around 140 MPs under its wings. It needs to have the support of at least 100 MPs to initiate a no-confidence motion against the government. But the challenge is, there is a challenge, whether all of its MPs will go along with the move. Many of the MPs have already started looking for a greener pasture in preparation for the next election. Thai party of Prime Minister Anutin is now a major magnet that has the potential to attract would-be election candidates, including the incumbent MPs of the Pheu Thai party.
And it certainly doesn't help that Thaksin, the de facto leader of Pheu Thai party, is finding himself in deeper troubles, at least with the 2 legal cases that we just talked about. But a censure motion against the Anutin government will certainly carry much less weight without the support of the People's Party, which finds itself in a dilemma. It was the People's Party, Khun Clare, we remember that catapulted Anutin to power with his conditional support, only to find itself unhappy with the Prime Minister's performance. But so far, the People's Party is still undecided whether the time is right to censure the government.
Yeah, Parit Wacharasin, the spokesperson of the People's Party, has denied charges that his party is dragging its feet as far as no confidence motion against the Anutin government is concerned. He actually listed 3 conditions which would warrant a censure debate. The first one is if Anutin government fails to honor its commitment to have the House dissolved by the end of January next year. Now, the commitment is the cornerstone of a political pact Anutin made with the People's Party in exchange for its support for him to become Prime Minister.
Now, the second condition is if the legislative process to amend the constitution does not materialize by the end of this year. A delay in passing the bill to amend the constitution is causing concerns that it would not be passed by the parliament in time to be put up for referendum, coinciding with the next election, which are expected to be held at the end of March next year. Amending the constitution is one of the key preconditions for the People's Party support for Anutin. So if that doesn't materialize, then the People's Party find it necessary to consider launching a no confidence motion against the government.
There is also a third condition, and that is if Anutin government undertakes policies or initiates projects that cause serious damage to the country, or if they have issue with transparency, or the government is seen as interfering in the judicial process. Now, key figures in the Pheu Thai party, including Prime Minister Anutin, are subjects of scrutiny in a major land scandal. And their critics fear the Anutin government might try to tamper with the ongoing investigations into the case.
And as Prime Minister, Anutin will without a doubt be the main target of any censure debate. But next on the list is most likely to be one of the Deputy Prime Minister, Thammanat Phrompao. Of course, you must be familiar with this name by now, right? Who the media see as the government's most obvious lightning rod. Thammanat, who doubles as Agriculture Minister, is being singled out for alleged association with big-time scam centers and underground business operations, charges he has vehemently denied.
Yeah, of course, he's still being hounded by his conviction in a drug smuggling case in Australia over 20 years ago. Thammanat has steadfastly denied any wrongdoing in the case, with Australian media at the time reporting that his conviction was a result of a plea bargain.
Now, Prime Minister Anutin has been under pressure to remove Thammanat, but so far he has shown no signs that he will do so. Thammanat currently is the chief advisor of Clare Party, a patchwork of splinter political groups, which is now a key component of Anutin's coalition government. Deep down inside, I want to see Anutin return as Prime Minister again, Thammanat said most recently of the next election. So with that, would you still expect Anutin to lay his finger on Thammanat?
No, yeah, he has his support. As mentioned in our discussion last week, Thammanat is the kind of political boss that old school Thai politics can hardly live without. His integrity may be questioned, but his charm and generosity are hallmarks that win the hearts and minds of his constituents. And this is exactly the kind of ally Prime Minister Anutin would certainly want to have in the next election. So there is simply no reason for Anutin to risk antagonizing him now.
So, I'm sure you must be wondering how Anutin has responded to the threat of a no confidence motion by the opposition. He is much less ambivalent this week, saying that he has no objection to a general House debate against his government, provided it does not entail a no confidence vote. However, if it is going to be an outright no confidence debate with a vote, he reserves the right to preempt it. As a minority government, Anutin knows too well that it will not be able to survive a no confidence vote.
So there's a difference there
Yeah.
between a general debate and a censure debate. Now, a general debate does not lead to a confidence vote, while a censure debate is followed by one. If Pheu Thai party decides to move ahead with the no confidence motion, sources in the party anticipate that it would be done as soon as the House returns from its recess on December 12th.
So that's the date to watch, December 12th, when the House reopens for their next session. And of course, you can expect Anutin and his Phumchai Thai party to be watching every move by Pheu Thai party. Because as soon as the parties show signs that it's going to submit a no confidence debate and motion against the government, then you can expect Anutin to move to preempt it.
Yeah.
So when a reporter asks Anutin whether he has already drafted a House dissolution statement to be ready to be announced, when he sees concrete signs that Pheu Thai party will proceed with the no confidence motion, Anutin answers with a laugh, "Oh, you can read my mind."
It's good to be prepared.
That's right. Because under the Constitution, once a no confidence motion is submitted, the government is not allowed to dissolve the House.
Yeah, that's why
Right, so,
he has to be ready.
yeah.
So that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye. See you then.